My grandkids were over last weekend, and at some point, because this is what happens when small children are in your house, someone looked up at me with those particular eyes and said, "Can you sit on the floor with me?" And I said yes. Obviously, you say yes to that. There was no correct answer to that question other than yes. Getting down to the floor went fine. It was a process. There was a slight pause, a knee involved in a way it didn't used to be, and a very specific series of decisions about which hand to use for support. But I got there, getting back up. That was a different story entirely. There was a pause, a longer pause. My knee had a very clear opinion about the situation. I looked at the couch, I considered my options, and for approximately 15 seconds, I genuinely wondered if this was just where I lived now. And I sat there, on the floor, among the Legos, thinking, when did this become difficult? I used to just stand up. Getting up from the floor was not a thing that required planning. When did it become a thing that requires planning? So I looked into it, because that's what I do. And what I found genuinely surprised me. The ability to get up from the floor without using your hands is one of the most studied predictors of longevity that researchers have identified. A study followed adults over a long period and found that people who needed to use multiple points of support to stand up from sitting on the floor had significantly higher mortality rates over the following decade than people who could stand up freely. That number got my attention in a way that nothing else had. Not because I'm afraid of mortality statistics, but because it meant something simple and actionable. This is a skill. Getting up off the floor is a trainable physical skill, and I had let it quietly decline without noticing. So I started practicing. I want to show you what that looks like. Start by simply sitting on the floor, cross-legged or however is comfortable for your hips. This alone is valuable. Most of us avoid the floor entirely, and our hips have genuinely forgotten how to function at this level. Sit here for a minute. Notice what feels tight. From sitting, practice rolling to one side and using one hand on the floor to push yourself up to standing. Then lower yourself back down, slowly. The lowering is actually more important than the getting up. That's where you build the strength. Work toward less reliance on your hand, then eventually no hand at all. I'll be reporting back on this one in a few weeks if you want to know whether I made it up without using my hands, and I sincerely hope I do. Subscribe so you don't miss the update. The Lego situation deserves a follow-up. Also add this: standing hip circles every morning. Hands on your hips, slow wide circles in both directions, about 20 seconds each way. Your hip flexors are the key to floor mobility, and most of us have them completely locked from years of sitting. This one movement done consistently makes more difference than almost anything else. I've been working on this for about 3 weeks. Last weekend, I got up from the floor using just one hand instead of two. Next month, I want to make it no hands. Not for a fitness goal, not for a number anywhere. For the next time someone looks at me with those eyes and says, "Can you sit on the floor with me?" Here's this episode's honest thing. Your body is not declining. It's waiting to be asked to do something. Ask it. Next week, I'm sharing the 5 things I started doing in the first 6 minutes of my morning that changed how I feel for the rest of the day. None of them involve waking up at 5 a.m. You're safe. See you then.